Rather large, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Mikhailo Modric, the medical has been set. The medical team at Arsenal has been told to be at standby. The deal is going to be done very soon, and he will be having his medical very, very soon. Edu is in Warsaw, that is in Poland, to get the deal done. We're going to be diving into much of the information that I have on that deal. We're going to be talking about Ivan Frasneda in this video as well, because it looks like Arsenal are willing to part with around 25 million euros for the young right back at Real Valladolid. We'll talk about Danilo. He's completed a move to Nottingham Forest, and that is where the question in this video actually comes from. Is a Thomas Partey backup a priority for us in January? Is it a must that we must sign someone to back up Thomas Partey in January in the last days of the window? Even if we don't bring in Yuri Tillemans, but someone who can sit in there for Thomas Partey, someone who can replace Thomas Partey, someone who can allow us rotate Thomas Partey. Is that signing a must in January if you're going to compete favorably and well for the title? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think we can ride until the end of the season without signing someone to cover for Thomas Partey and those emergencies that we saw last campaign? Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to how many likes this time? Let's get this video to 1,000 likes. So make sure you're hitting that like button. Now, first and foremost, let's get into it. Edu yesterday in the evening actually took a flight to Poland in Warsaw to complete and close the deal for Mikhailo Modric. According to what I understand, is that Fabrizio Romano did release a statement, and he said there are a few things to iron out here and there, and that's why Edu actually physically went out to Warsaw, where Shakhtar are actually camping. They're having a few training sessions before they can actually resume their campaign. So Edu is now in Warsaw in Poland to try and negotiate the final details of the deal. I think Romano actually said that Arsenal want to give around 20 million euros in terms of add-ons, and Shakhtar are still insisting it should be 25. It should be 25 million euros in terms of add-ons. So I think, in my opinion, it is not actually very, very far away. The 70 million euros are great. The add-ons, which is around 20, 25, it will depend on who actually decides to call it quits earlier. If Shakhtar say, okay, let's go with the 20 million euros in terms of add-ons, then the deal will be a 90 million euro deal. But if Arsenal decide that they're tired of negotiations and are willing now to pay 25 million euros, then it's going to go to 95 million euros. But the good thing is that Edu is out there in Warsaw trying to engage, trying to talk the Shakhtar team into getting this deal done. One thing I also understand as well is that Shakhtar have told Arsenal they want this deal done as quickly as possible. So this weekend, being today is a Saturday, tomorrow is a Sunday. This weekend, we're expecting Mikhailo Modric to be an Arsenal player. Paperwork and everything should be signed by the end of this weekend. So that is also confirmed as well. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you in this video is that Arsenal have already put their medical team on standby, and Mikhailo Modric's medical is now already set. The moment a deal is struck between Edu and the team and the Shakhtar team in Warsaw, the player will fly to London. I think I think Poland and London are actually not very, very far away. I'm not really sure of the locations, but I think Poland and London are not very, very far away. So the moment a deal is struck, he will fly to London, have his medical. There is also a possibility that he will have his medical in Poland, but I think it will be in London. Have his medicals, and then he will be announced as an Arsenal player. So done deal this weekend is what we are going to be talking about. We should be talking about a done deal this weekend, and maybe next week we'll be talking about his first interviews, unveiling, and then some of the few things, including his first debut. According to, again, some of the sources that I've been looking at, Mikhailo Modric wants to play against Manchester United. He wants his debut to come as early as next Sunday, as early as next weekend, when we take on Manchester United. He's a player who's, I think he is desperate for a move, for a January move. And you can see all the signs that he has actually been putting out there. They show he's a player who wants to be on the move. He's a player who actually wants to be out of Shakhtar. But most importantly, He's a player who wants to play for Arsenal. He wants that move. He wants that January move to be to Arsenal. And now that the fee has been agreed on, he's only waiting for that indication, for that permission from Shakhtar that you can now legally talk to Arsenal. You can now, go on, negotiate with them, have your contract signed, have your part of the deal met, and then you can fly to London, have your medicals, you can officially say farewell, to us now, right? So, will he play against Manchester United because he wants to play in that game? This is how we can play against Man United. If Arsenal can get all the paperwork done, get the player registered before Tuesday, maybe he has his first training session on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there is a small possibility that he will have a small player, a part to play in the Manchester Arsenal game. After all, it's going to be a very, very important game. It's going to be one game where you're going to need a lot of quality. It's not going to be a close game. It's going to be an open-ended game, but no need to talk about that. This weekend, it is the North London Derby. He's going to be watching that on his screen. I don't know whether he'll watch that or he'll be in training, but it is highly likely that he'll watch that on his screen and post on Instagram that he's watching Arsenal, right? So we are very, very close. It is hours away. You've got to be. I don't think it's about patience now. It's about just being eager. Just be eager. Just be waiting for that announcement. So Ed is there in Poland to close the deal, and the medical team has already been told to wait and set everything up. The moment the player gets that, here we go, he will definitely be on his medical there at Arsenal. So that is it from Fabrizio Romano and Mikhailo Modric and the deal. The rest of the things we've already talked about them on the podcast. We've agreed personal terms with the player. Officially, we've not yet, but we have the consent, and we have told them the offer that we're actually giving them, the 5-year deal, earning around £100,000 per week. But again, it's still staggering because a few sources are still saying he will be earning around £37,000 per week. Other sources are saying he will be earning around £127,000 per week. I don't think he will be earning 37. I feel like that is very, very low. Maybe £127,000 per week could be too high for a player as young as Mikhailo Modric. But think about it. If you're signing a player for 100 million euros, close to 100 million euros, it just makes sense that he's earning 100 million pounds, in my opinion, right? But anyway, after the deal is agreed, we will have full permission from Shakhtar to talk to him, and then we'll get the real official figures of how much he's going to be earning, how much he's going to be getting in bonuses, and what are the contract clauses that he will actually be included in his contract right there. Now, the other story is about Ivan Fresneda, a player that I actually talked about. You can call him Ivan or you can call him, Ivan, but I prefer to call him Ivan Fresneda. A young right back, 18 years old, Spanish right back, playing at Real Valladolid. Arsenal is much interested in this young boy, and they are willing, according to the Sport, in Spain, Arsenal are willing to table over 25 million euros for Ivan Fresneda, right? Now, I still don't understand this deal, to be honest, because it is growing rather than diminishing, right? It is a story that is growing in terms of coverage, growing in terms of authenticity, and the sources that are actually covering it, instead of dying out. It's a story that I've seen for like 4 weeks now, and I've never talked about Ivan Fresneda because I feel like, okay, this is kind of a deal that will not happen, won't happen this January. But it's gaining ground day by day, time out. So let's talk about the deal in detail. First and foremost, the player's already told Real Valladolid that he would love to play for Arsenal. He's open to joining Arsenal, and although he's wanted by other clubs, including Atalanta, Newcastle, and a couple of other clubs that I actually cannot recall right now, he's told them that he would love to sign for Arsenal. Arsenal would be his first priority. Now, this is where I want to pose the question: should Arsenal think about Ivan Fresneda signing for 25 million euros, or should we focus on getting a player who can replace Thomas Partey? Now, today, Fabrizio Romano has actually put out a tweet confirming that it is a here we go between Nottingham Forest and Danilo. A deal for Danilo has been agreed between Nottingham Forest and Palmeiras for a reported 20 million euros. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And it's quite, for me, hurting that we've missed out on a player like Danilo. It hurts me. It baffles me. I don't understand how we've done this. I don't understand how we have made the easiest transfer in January the hardest, to an extent that we have actually missed out on Danilo, and he's gone to Nottingham Forest. When Mikel talked about being short, when he talked about reinforcing the squad, when he talked about players that he loves, Danilo is one of those players that we have been scouting for quite some time. We wanted to try to sign him in the summer, around 25 million euros, and we eventually failed to get the deal done. Palmeiras said we want to win the league. We are still on top of the table. We cannot give away our best talent, our best midfielder. So if you want to sign him, come back in January when the Brazilian league is done. We will negotiate with you. Arsenal did go in there, had a bid in, sent in. We agreed terms with the players' representatives, and then the deal died off. I don't understand where the deal died, right? It's a major signing. It's a fantastic signing by Nottingham Forest. They're struggling right now. I feel like they need, with the likes of, Jesse Lingard in that team, they need someone to hold that midfield. They need a holding midfielder. They needed someone. And what a signing they've actually made in Danilo. I'm so disappointed in Arsenal because in this January transfer window, it was all about Arsenal being better than we were last January. It was about us looking at what we did wrong last January and getting it right. One is replacing Thomas Partey, or finding a player who can actually be an understudy for Thomas Partey. Something that I extremely feel is important. Not important in a way that Arsenal are waiting for Partey to get injured and then we crumble, but it is highly likely that Thomas Partey will need rotation. It is highly likely that Thomas Partey, will maybe pick up an injury, because he always picks up those injuries at times when we do not actually want to, right? He never plays against Manchester United. I'm not even sure if he's going to play this weekend, right? Because we have Spurs. You never know what's going to happen in that game. So I thought Danilo would have been the perfect deal for Arsenal to do first. As we negotiate for Mikhailo Modric, as we hold negotiations, as we talk to Shakhtar, the behind the scenes, we should have done the Danilo deal. It should have been ours. It should have been our player. 20 million euros is the cheapest bargain you're going to get in this market for a prodigy like Danilo. And we've seen how these Brazilian defensive midfielders are working. Look at Joe Palhinha at Fulham, and now Danilo at Nottingham Forest. It's remarkable how we have actually bottled it. It's absolutely remarkable, right? But is a Partey backup a must? Instead of signing Ivan Fresneda for 25 million euros, it's a right back, and I think Arsenal, I don't see a right back as a priority. Even when you lose Benjamin White, I think Takara Tomiyasu comes in that role, fits in very well, and will do a very, very marvelous, fantastic job. But in a defensive midfield, no one is there to cover. And for me, that's why I've asked you in this video, is that is a Partey backup a must? Is it a priority for us in January? And it is seemingly not. According to what I see, how I'm looking at things, it seems not, right? I want to believe that when Partey picks up an injury, we are not going to play Albert Samilokonga. I also want to believe that when Partey picks up an injury, we are not going to play Mohamed El Neni. But facts be told, we'll play El Neni and we will play Albert Samilokonga. And this is the danger there. One, we are going to play Lokonga and El Neni against high quality midfields like City, like Newcastle, like Brentford. Teams that are good at pressing, teams that are good at hiding the ball, teams that are good at quick passing and quick combinations. and we are going to fall away. We're going to fall apart. It's the same reason I loved Muhammad Elneny when he came in for Thomas Partey last campaign. He did all right, didn't he? He did all right. But the difference is visible. The difference is so visible. The boots are too huge for these players. And that's why I thought Mikel Arteta, Edu, they would think about a backup for Thomas Partey. But it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like they're looking at a backup for Thomas Partey. It just looks like they're okay, right? They're okay. As title challenges, maybe like Vinay said, Arsenal are overachieving right now, and we have no reason to panic to add those quick additions to the squad. But if we are still on thinking about the title, if you're still thinking about holding our position on top of the table, then we need to add someone in midfield. For me, a defensive midfielder in particular, to be precise, a defensive midfielder. But anyway, let me know. Let me know what you think about the defensive midfield part. Is it something that we can deal with? Can we keep Thomas Partey fit until the end of the season? And if we can't, then what do we do? I would love to get your thoughts. I'll speak to you in the next one.